I want to show you guys how I scrape thousands of local businesses in minutes and for relatively cheap. And I'm going to take you step by step how you can implement this lead generation system so that you can get a outreach or cold email all of these businesses in a list. So yeah, let's just dive right in. First things first, you are going to need a Make.com account for this. So just head in the link in the description. It should be the first one, and just create your Make.com account. Once you've created your account, just go to the scenarios on this sidebar right here and press create a new scenario, and you should see this purple plus button. Now the first thing that we have to do is actually scrape these leads or businesses off of Google Maps, and we can do so using Apify, which basically allows you to use a bunch of different scrapers. So we go to actors right here to scrape information from different websites and different platforms, and today we're going to be using this Google Maps email extractor. First things first, you create your Apify account by heading over to apify.com, create your account and press go to console, and I think it's going to tell you to create your account, and you should be taken to this page right here. To actually find the right scraper that we're going to be using, you need to go to the Apify store on the left and then search Google Maps email extractor, this one right here, and press this result, and yeah, you should be taken to this page where you can customize a bunch of settings to basically target different leads, target different types, people who don't have websites, people who do have websites. You can change the amount you want to crawl, and you want to scrape the actual search string, so what types of businesses you're targeting, the type of lead you actually want to sell to your target audience. Let's go ahead and just customize some settings depending on who you want to target. So in the search terms right here, you're going to put the business you're selling to. So let's say I was selling a chatbot to restaurants or a voice assistant to restaurants, search term right here. The location can be local or this can be anywhere in the world. I'm gonna stick with London, UK. And then for the number of places to extract, this is how many businesses you actually want to extract in the first place. So 20 for now, just for testing. Language, I'd recommend you put this as English. And then the filters and precise search. This is where we can do things like scrape places with or without websites, set a minimum star rating, so only get businesses that have a lower amount of your reviews, so you can sell some sort of service to that. And yeah, I don't think that important apart from those two things. If let's say you're selling websites, you can set this to scrape places without a website. But to actually get the emails that we're looking for, we need to scrape places with a website. I'm just going to set it to scrape only places with a website. But once you've done that, you can click this JSON right here, and this is what we're actually going to be putting into Make.com. If you head over to Make, we need to actually add a module. It's going to be a HTTP request. Make a request, search that up, should be this one right here, and then you're going to see some sections. We're going to do a post request to Apify to then get the results and run the actual scraper. Head over to the top right, press API endpoints, scroll down until you find run act synchronously and get dataset items, copy, and then paste it into this URL. I can't really paste it because the token's in there, which means that I'm going to leak my token. Paste into the URL section. And if we head back, this is a post request, and set the method to post. You don't need to add any header because the authorization is in the URL. For the body type, set that to raw. Content type, JSON, request content. We can then head back, and this is the JSON code right here that I was talking about. This is where we actually need to use it. So go ahead and paste that in. You can recognize this has all these settings. And for parse response, set that to yes, then hit save. Okay, now we can add another module, and we need to iterate through each of these results to add them to a sheet, a Google spreadsheet. So you can add another module, go to flow control, search out flow, and then click on iterator. Okay, now it's going to ask us for an array. We haven't actually ran the scenario yet, so we don't have any variables. You can go ahead and test out this first step. So just set this to save that, and you can right click and press run this module only, and this is going to run the Apify scraper and get us a result so that we have the variables to then put into the spreadsheet. I'm going to explain things as simple as possible, but if things do get a bit too complicated, please just ask any questions you have in the comments and I'm going to answer them if you are a bit lost. Now that we have the variables, we can go ahead and connect that back up to the iterator and press this array field right here. Now, when you press the data drop down, you're going to see you have a bunch of results right here. This means that the scraper successfully ran, and now we have a bunch of results about the business. Press this data array because that's what we want to iterate through. Add another module, search our Google Sheets, and now we can add all those results inside of a spreadsheet. Add a row, Now this is where you need to create your spreadsheet to have your lead list, but it needs this exact setup with these exact columns. So the first column needs to be the business name, second reviews count, third website if it exists, phone number, email, and then the sixth needs to be the Google Maps URL. Once you have created that spreadsheet, go ahead and actually select it in the spreadsheet ID section. So my spreadsheet was called leads. You're going to select your spreadsheet from this drop down. The sheet name is going to be sheet 1 or whatever the sheet is called down here. Now we can finally add all the values because we actually ran this scenario. We have loads of variables which you can now input inside of the Google Sheet. So the business name is going to be the title variable right here. Reviews count, you just scroll down a bit until you find the reviews count variable. Website, the website variable. Phone, unformatted, or the phone variable, whichever you prefer. And then the email, if you scroll down, you'll find the emails array. Select the first email in that array, or if you want to input all the emails, you can just put the array. Google Maps URL, the URL variable right here, and that's it. Just press save. Now this is optional, but you can add a filter here to only add leads that it found the email for, that the scraper found the email for, because the scraper also extracts emails as well as, Google Maps details and whatnot. So in order to only add leads to the spreadsheet that have an email, so you can do things like cold email outreach, set up a filter right here, press this tool icon, set up a filter and do email question mark, and then you need to do condition, scroll down in the variable section, select this emails drop down, and then just put 1 right there, and that's going to grab the first email in the array. Then press on this text operators right here, press exists. Once you've done that, hit save, and this is going to basically filter out all the leads that don't have 1 email at least. And yeah, that should only add the email right here. So you can even change this to email because it's always going to exist. And yeah, that is your 3-step automation done. You can now test this automation out, and it's only going to add the businesses that have emails to a Google spreadsheet. Let's say you did cold calling, you can even remove this filter and you're still going to get a bunch of phone numbers. Actually, most of the time you are going to get phone numbers, 99% of the chance, because people have their phone numbers directly on their Google Maps. Cold calling is going to be a lot easier as well. We can actually go ahead and run this with 20 businesses and see if this works. By the way, you can run this automation every day at a certain time if you want, or you can just run it manually each time. So let's see it working live. It's running right now. And boom, as you can see, it is adding all the businesses inside the Google Sheet. That is satisfying as hell. And you can see that 14 of them, I think, had an email. So went ahead and added it to the spreadsheet. Okay, and the phone, I think it glitched out. I think you can only have phone unformatted. So make sure you change the phone to phone unformatted, this one right here. And it will add it correctly to the spreadsheet, like this one right here. An error, I think. I have no idea why. I think it's because of the formatting. But yeah, as you can see, we still got a bunch of emails that we can then do cold emailing to, and we also got all the websites, reviews counts, and the business names. So we have a bunch of information to actually personalize the emails on. And I hope you guys liked that video. I hope this automation is going to be useful to your lead generation for your business. If you actually wanted me to go ahead and just implement this system for free inside of your own business, just go ahead and schedule a meeting with me. Link is going to be in the description, and we can talk about your business and maybe some other automations that you want to set up as well. But if you seriously cannot set this up for your business, just go ahead and book a meeting, and we're just going to go through together about the automations a bit. And I'm going to go ahead and set this up completely for free, so you can have thousands of leads that you can just scrape in minutes like I do for my business. So if you like this video, go ahead, like and subscribe. And like I said earlier, if you're running into an issue while trying to set this automation up, you just can't solve it, go ahead and leave a comment down below, or just schedule a meeting with me on Calendly if it's impossible, and I'll just set this up free of charge. All right, love you guys, and peace.